Good morning, everyone. I am so glad you're here today. Hope you brought your warm beverage. Notice mine's
And my cold.
chickens and flag. So, anyway, we have a great show for you today. One of the questions we have for you is, are you hiding? We have some things to ask you to kind of test yourself. Are you hiding? Are you hiding from life? Are you hiding from yourself? So many things to go on. But before we go into that, I want to remind y'all that I'm Carol Henderson. I have the Life by Design studio, and I help you to circle up your life because life should get better and better and better as you go on. So many people think that when they're aging, it needs to get less and worse, and the walls close in, and you do less, and you go less, and you have less. And sometimes less can be more, but
Huh?
it doesn't need to be a downward spiral by any means. It needs to be upward and onward because you have too much to give in this life to shut down and not enjoy and not help others to come to where they need to be. So, with that being said, let me introduce my wonderful co-host, Miss Barbara Ellison. And
Good.
she is here. She's just a wealth of knowledge.
Ah, well, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. We are the Mavens of Motivation,
Yes.
and we pride ourselves in helping people to, as Carol says, to spiral up. In my case, I work with late career business professionals who are struggling. You're not struggling, but they want to overcome stress. They're stressed, or they have declining health, or they're financially insecure. Well, you know what? Those things do not have to be. So let's figure out how to be happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant. All of those things are out there for us because we are of an age. However, that's where we have to take responsibility. Number one, for our age. Okay, I'm talking to somebody here, and also to myself. Age is a number on a calendar. That's it. That's all it is a date on the calendar. Age is within you, and you can be young at heart. And I choose to believe that each and every one of us has that choice to be young at heart. Age is just a number, that we do not have to slow down, etc., as we reach into our 70s and 80s and 90s. And I'm going to brag on my dad for a minute. He was busy and he was doing stuff until he was 100. Then he had a couple of health issues, yeah. But you know what? He only passed away he passed away at 102. But that was one of the things that he always said. He said, keep active. He did Tai Chi every week. He went bowling every week from a wheelchair. He went bowling. He was active. He painted birdhouses, whatever it was that kept him active. And
Well,
he,
yeah,
yeah,
so many people think that they get to a certain age and then they are just supposed to sit on the sofa eating bonbons and watching
yes,
soap operas.
right.
It's like, no, the more you stop, the more you become less active, less engaged with life, the
Yeah,
more quickly you will go down. And
right.
it's not a fun road to go down. My
No,
husband retired at 39 with maybe it was no, he was hurt. He broke his back at 39. He retired at 49. They said he'd never work another day, but he did. He was able to go ahead and work for 10 years after a little bit of recovery because he owned the business and he would go get them ready and get them started and then come back. But there was a time when he first did retire and we moved here to the lake that he just sat and he declined. And so we had to kind of get a grip on that and get
right,
him spiraling back up
right.
instead of down. And he has, and he is, and
Mhm.
Barbara's met him. We have a big
Yeah,
place here, and there's a lot to do.
there's a lot to do. And that's the thing. find things to do. And and if you don't have them, if you don't have something to do yourself, find somebody who needs something done.
Yes.
And I am blessed that my mom noticed that my dad, when he retired, he was an electrician by trade. And her friends would say, "Oh, I need to have, this light bulb changed." And they were in their 80s and 90s. "Oh, Malcolm will come and do that." And she would farm him out. I mean, she would not farm him out, but volunteer him out, you know,
Right. Right.
and she would volunteer him out all the time.
Well, and
And
if you're young, go find people that do not need to be up on a ladder. Then
but you don't want it right.
yeah, when we were young, new married, Keith was talking about this little lady yesterday. Her name was Miss Lively, and she was this little bitty thing, and she had a big wooden fence, a couple doors down, and Keith would hear, "Hello, Miss Henderson." She had her little hanky up over the thing. "Hello, Mr. Henderson. Hello, Mr. Henderson." But
Right.
we went and we took care of her a lot, and one cold winter we had, I mean, the houses we were in were like close to 100 years old. They were neat houses, but they were small little back before they put insulation in walls and things like that.
Mhm.
And so we had taken care of our attic and some things like that. But he went over one day and said, "Are you okay? Do you have plenty of blankets? Are you warm enough?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm fine. I can get under the blankets and stuff." The water in her toilet tank had frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, "No, honey, you're not fine. Let's get you some more heat in here."
Yes.
Because of finances or whatever, sometimes older people won't heat their houses or cool their
Mhm.
houses properly. I mean, we watch our thermostat and
Right.
and stuff.
Exactly.
We watch because we're already into 100-degree days here in Texas, and our electric bill can kind of get up there if we don't watch it.
Right.
But the one fortunate thing, I'm not real fond of air conditioning. I love it with the windows open with fresh air. I love that.
Right. Yeah, me
But
too.
and we have a house. When Daddy built this house, he made it with all the crosswinds could be accessed in this house the way he built it, and so we don't have to turn it on except when it gets up in the mid to high 80s. We'll turn it on, but up till then, we're in part of Texas that's windy too, so we get a
Yeah.
good breeze. I have to sweep a little bit more to get the dirt out, but you
Right.
know, yeah. So anyway, back to topic.
So, well, and but what you just said reminded me that lots of times when we get to a certain age, we hide behind the fact that, "Oh, I can't do that."
Yeah,
Do not let yourself say, "Oh, I can't do that." Okay, you have to be cognizant of things that you physically to have to be careful of. And that's where number one thing, embrace vulnerability. If you really can't do something, ask somebody to help you with the one little part that you can't do, rather than letting it stop you from doing all the rest of the part that you can do. And it's like, because so often people they'll then hide behind their insecurities. Oh well, what if this happens? Well, what's the worst thing that'll happen if it does happen? Ask for help.
yeah.
Deepen that connection, deepen your self-discovery. You will be amazed at the things that if you just ask for help for the first thing, you will discover, "Oh, well, that wasn't so hard. I can do that." And so know what are you doing? You're developing your personality, you're developing your strengths, and guess what else you're developing? Resilience. And that is such a huge subject now, is having resilience.
And
Because
you
when you
need
have
it in this day
you
and
need
time.
it. You
Yeah,
need it
yeah.
not only for your health, your physical health, but also for your mental health.
I mean,
when you can learn one
it's a
new thing,
minefield out there these days. You
it's a
need
minefield.
resilience.
Right. And like, okay, yesterday I had a little example of it. I was working on my computer and all of a sudden I got this warning, 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 warning. You're just, warning, 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 don't try to shut your computer down. Call this number. And I went, okay, fine. I'm like, okay, I'm not doing anything with my computer. I called my son, who of course is a computer nerd. He's a whiz. And he does security, internet security. Called him. It was his Father's Day and his birthday, and I just said, well, I'm calling him anyways. I had worked and
Well, you
wasn't,
start out with Happy Father's Day, Happy Birthday. I need your help.
and I need this is what's happening. And he's like, Mom, just this is, and he gave me the step-by-steps of what to do. Rather than me panicking, and I did panic for that first few minutes, and then it was like, yeah, no, Barbara, just ask Andrew. Just ask him. And he told me exactly what to do. So now it's like, okay, yeah, no, I can. So then I handled it. I did exactly what he told me to do, but I asked for that help first.
Yes.
So now it has built up my self-discovery that, okay, yeah, I really can. So if it happens again, I know exactly what to do. And it has built up my resilience. And it has
Basically,
built up
what she
my
did is
resilience.
what I've done before when I've had that happen. But it's just like, no, this has to be a scam.
This is a scam. So don't get caught up in those scams. But that's one of the things that just don't be afraid to ask for help.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask for help. So yeah,
And
absolutely.
most people are very gracious and happy and excited to help.
Do help. Yeah.
They want to help. That's innate in us. Whether we know it or not, whether we want to recognize it or believe it or not, it is innate.
Yeah. It says in the Bible that it's better to give than receive. Some people take it a little bit too far, that they only give, and don't know how to receive. I know a couple of people like that. No, but it's a two-way street. Because we have to have receivers in order to have givers, and we have to have givers in order to have receivers.
Well, and stop and think of a lake. Okay.
Yeah.
A lake that just, people that sit on the pew and never go out and talk to anybody, help anybody. They're like a lake that takes in, but there's no outlet. So what is that? That thing's stagnant.
That's stagnant. It's like the Dead Sea. It's like the Dead Sea doesn't go anywhere.
And so they never give out. Then there's the ones that give out, but it's a drought coming in because they aren't receiving. And that is a dry lake bed because they finally give out and they just dry up and shrivel. You have to have that flow. It's just like money. God gives you so you can give. People say, oh, it's the name it and claim it, and it's the blab it and grab it type stuff. You don't hear that as much as you did back in the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, you are to receive because God wants you to give, wants you to receive, but you can't receive if your hands are like this. They need to be like this and even like this so that it flows through. Some of it sticks. If you put your hands under running water and it's like this, a whole lot flows through, but some sticks. You can wash your hands. And so that's one of the things that God expects us to receive, but then to turn out and give. And we are blessed to be a blessing.
Right.
So like Barbara received yesterday, and she turned around and told me today. And her son suggested a particular platform that both of us have tinkered around with in the past, but had not done it. We've stayed with the status quo.
With the tried and true,
Truthfully, just in research, the tried and true is limiting people's access. You'll say such and such, and it'll give you a not great answer, where the other one will give you a plethora of options and, for like whatever you're researching. And so, I've known to go over there. We've both been over there and
Yeah.
went back to our comfort zone. And, right
Ex
there is a
it's getting
problem,
it's
staying in your
getting
comfort zone.
getting out of your comfort zone. And so often, uh, people have it's like, oh, but this is uncomfortable. Like one of the exercises that I do with people to let them understand that there is a comfort zone, even we have a physical comfort zone. So
Mhm.
one of the things that so for all of you that are, I want you to do this. If you're when you're listening to this, no matter when you're listening to it, do this. Fold your arms, right? Just we normally fold our arms, and then notice if your left arm is over your right arm or your right arm is over your left arm. And because it changes. It just but which is one? Like for me, my left arm is over my right arm. But now I want you to switch them. How does that feel?
Crooked.
It feels crooked. It feels different. It feels like, ooh, and I watched you that like I can do it because I do this. I show this all the time. But you had to stop and think about it.
Yeah. And I
You
would have
had to,
thought that my right arm was over my left arm, just if you'd asked me which one do you put there. But
or,
no, I did my left over my right.
or you did your left over your right. And that's our comfort zone. And so that's one of the things when when I'm teaching somebody about comfort zone or about how their brain works, it's like, and one day I did it in front of church. I did it from the pulpit one time. And one of the girls in the front row, she was like, switch them? And I could see her mouthing it to me. What do you mean, switch them? And I said, yes, switch them. I can, I do it all the time because I show it all the time. And I don't even think about it anymore. I can automatically do it. But she was like, but this feels really weird, Barb. I mean, because we talk in church, and and she said, "This is Barb. This feels really weird." I said, "Well, yeah, that's your brain saying, oh, this is something new. Please, I don't want to do it. Don't make me do something new." That is what your brain does to you. That's your comfort zone.
Well, and you need to use your brain in different ways every
Different ways
day
every day.
throughout your life, because you build up these pathways,
The neural
and
pathways.
it's like the ruts that they got when they were settling the West. Out here in Texas, there are a couple of places that you can still see the ruts of the wagon trains.
Yeah.
You can still see the ruts of the wagon trains. And so it, you know, those ruts get deep, and
Mhm.
it's hard. Think about driving in the snow, and everybody's going down these same ruts, and you want to pull over, and it's hard to get out of
It's
the rut,
hard.
and you start sliding.
Right.
So that uncomfortable, it's like sliding. And then when you get out of the rut, you do okay. But you don't want the ruts of your brain so deep that you can't get out. That is a form of hiding, of just
Right.
going along to get along, staying in the path that everybody else is in. But your
Right.
brain will atrophy. It will
Right.
it will decline if you do that. My mom did puzzles and stuff
Right.
and crosswords and things like that all the time,
Right.
because that it would keep her brain active
Right.
and
And,
and such. So, and
and
that's why
one of the
people play Sudoku and stuff like that.
right. Right. And one of the things, I mean, two simple things that you can do. Brush your hair with your opposite hand. And if you don't have hair, brush your teeth.
And if
Do
you've not
something.
tried that, it's sometimes hard to
It is
get it to
hard.
feel
No,
right.
it doesn't feel right, but it's a way to move the neuro
Yeah,
membranes of those neurons in
yeah,
your brain.
yeah.
Do
To
something with your
shake it
opposite
up.
hand. Like
Improve.
lots of times I'll just sit and I'll doodle with my opposite hand. I'll doodle with my left hand.
Well, and have you ever noticed when you put on a pair of pants, most
Hmm.
people put one leg in first and the other
First,
one. Try doing it the
do
opposite
it
way
the
and
opposite way.
see what works.
Or put your shoes on
Mhm.
a different way. It's just it's just doing something different.
Mhm.
Um, and so and that or do something different to express yourself differently.
Well, and that's one
Change
of
how
the
you,
things that we do with each other because we do a lot of posts, we do a lot of different social media things, and so we'll play off of each other going, now, so what about this? What about
how
that?
does this sound?
How
Right.
do we do this? How do we do that?
Right.
Uh,
Because you want to be authentically you,
mhm.
but sometimes the authentic us has to be brought out in us from ever somebody else.
Yes, yes,
Oh, that's, oh, I really do. Oh, I really do think that. Or
yeah,
is that somebody else thinking it for you?
yeah, yeah.
What's your unique strength or your unique personality or your
And
unique
everybody has one.
we
Everybody
all have
has,
one.
yeah,
Or your own perspective, or are you just hiding behind a family norm, or
yeah,
hiding behind a family? And I realized that about just a few years ago, I realized that I had been living most of my life behind
what
the
was
values of
expected?
my
What was expected?
what was expected of me. Yeah.
So go back and listen to some of our old videos because Barbara talks a lot about that. And in that vein, uh, if you're watching on Facebook, please click like and share. Tell your friends about us because we're here not to just flap our jaws. We hope to make your life better. And then if you're watching later on YouTube, because we do post all our things over there too, click the little thumbs up button because that changes the algorithm. Like and subscribe. So all of those things, please click, like, and subscribe to our, and ring the little bell because the little bell will tell you, oh, they have a recording coming up.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful week, and
Yeah.
we hope that Monday motivated you today. So
Yeah.
for the Mavens of Motivation, let's say bye.
Yeah. Join us next time. Bye.
See you later. Oops.